Here's a quick challenge for you. I need you to go to MT Tools and I need you to launch blank. When blank opens, scroll out a little bit so that the one is a little bit smaller. And then let's use the gear, and I want you to create a 5, 4, maybe a 6-piece gear. You can pick on that. Scroll in when you look at that gear. Turn its hinge into a motor. And I want it to spin this way, so watch when you hit play it goes the wrong way. Switch it to reversed. And then I want it to go, instead of 15, about 10. So get it somewhere close to 10 revolutions per minute. Pause, turn on the brush, and I want this gear to be a kind of a windmill so it can lift things. So with the brush, make that a little bit smaller, turn on multi-draw, and draw these hooks. Do that for every side. It's kind of just like an L. It doesn't matter if they're a little bit longer than each other. It's not about perfection. It's just about getting it so that it will hold something in a minute. When you hit play, notice how it moves along, which is really, really slick. Real quickly, notice it's collision menu A. Let's pause and let me show you what we're going to do for the next part. Scroll out, move it, draw a decently sized skinny rectangle. Right-click on that skinny rectangle so that it's sloped at about 5 or 10 degrees. You don't want a huge slope. You want it, under 10-ish. And then you need to attach that. And then it's important for us to take its collision menu and have it not collide with A. That way, this won't run into it. Then I want you to draw a little ball up here. Make sure it's a small ball. And this ball, we need to do special. He needs to collide with A and B. So that way when he's lands, he will land on that part. I'm going to pause so that he's halfway down. And I'm going to clone him, and I'm going to add a second one up top. So we're going to create a never-ending machine. To do that, I want you to do this same process down at the bottom. So that way the ball is going to be caught and it's going to slide over and it's going to come down here. But when it gets to this side, when it falls off, I want you to have another rectangle that's below, and I want this one. Let's attach those both. I want him to have a restitution of something around 3. Remember, you actually have to type those numbers because it'll only let us stop at 1. So with his bounciness at 3, he's going to shoot up in the air, and then I want this process to restart. Alright, so now that we've got it bouncy, let's create a kind of a tunnel where it rides up, so we're using the brush, and then it loops over so it can start again. We need to make sure that that little critter is attached, and then it's time to test our device. Let's cheat just a hair on the testing, and let's click on one of our pieces and duplicate it. So we're hitting clone, and let's set that one down here so the reset mode is starting already. So that we can see the first one comes down, that one gets hit on the bouncing. Looks like my bouncing is not intense enough. So I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to lower this so that it falls further before it hits. And then I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to do the restitution, and I'm going to change it to 4 as I try and get it to bounce up and replay. And then I just need you to continue and test until you finally create one where it is never ending. I am close, but it's not quite working, so I'm going to back up and change that again. I want you to do the same thing. Maybe you can come up with a different strategy where it catches it, but see what you can do to create a never-ending machine.